Alrighty, hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you guys are having a great, what is today? Tuesday. Oh my gosh, time's flying by. So I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. Obviously, boy, Bitcoin did pretty good today actually. Went up in the green. It was in the red most of the day in the morning, and then the miners were actually in the green too in the morning, even with Bitcoin being down. So that was kind of surprising. It's like the second time, or maybe more than that, in the recent couple of days that we've had here. So that's good news there. We'll take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin, obviously. Is this going to be the rebound for the bulls here? I think it might be. We'll take a look at the chart here, see what it shows us on the 15-minute chart, 1-hour chart, daily chart as well, 4-hour chart. Miners, like I said, did actually pretty good today, all things considered. So maybe they are front running Bitcoin a little bit here today, which is good news for us if that is the case. And then we only have really one good news story to talk about is HUD 8. They're building out more megawatts here, so we'll talk about that. And then we'll get into Q&A. Not much as far as data on miners right now. I'm waiting for IREN to report. Once IREN reports, we can start looking at some of the quarterly results for these guys here for all the miners. And that's going to happen, obviously, with IREN reporting in 2 days on Thursday. I think that's when they're reporting. So we'll cover that. Then we'll get into some more metrics on the miners for quarterly results and things like that. Dilution and everything else. Other than that, you guys know the drill here. Not financial advice for entertainment only. Do your own research. Full disclosure below that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Helps me out tremendously. And let's get into what's going on here with Bitcoin here right now. So Bitcoin had a nice day today. It was up approximately 1.51%. It closed at 111,788. So that was pretty good there. We did bounce, which is nice. And we are right on the 100 SMA line here, which is the blue line right there. We did close above it, but we're down below it a little bit now on the new day. We're down just a little bit, 0.44% or something like that. Nothing major on that one. The good thing that I'm seeing here, at least right now, on the 15-minute chart here, if we look at that one and we look at some of the time frames here, we can see on the RSI here is that just a little bit ago was approximately 51, right? Last time we were around here was back here. Price was actually lower. So we are starting to see a reversal happening here on the RSI and the price of Bitcoin, the action on it, which is good. So that's the first sign that we're seeing here that we might be in a little bit of a reversal here. Maybe it's going to be a longer reversal. We'll see. On the 1-hour chart, I'm still looking for anything that would tell me that we're having a reversal here. We are going to have to wait a little bit longer for that to happen, I think. We just saw that on the 50-minute chart, so it's going to take a while for it to play out here on the 1-hour chart as well. I don't see anything right now. I mean, I'm looking at the RSI here, which is at 54.71. We were pretty close back here, but price at that point was higher. So I need to see something where it's, let me see, maybe over here. I mean, price is actually lower here than, it's actually higher. Okay. So maybe we do have a little bit of a reversal here as well in the 1-hour chart. So here the RSI is at 46. Back here, no, we were higher. I was thinking it was over here, but we are over here. So price is still lower. We got to wait a little bit longer to see that if that reverses. 4-hour chart, same thing. We got the same action going on here. RSI right now is at 44. Last time we were right around here. Price was actually higher at that point as well. And then obviously on the daily chart, we are where we are here. On the weekly chart, we can see RSI has come down here, which then again gives us a little bit more powder to run up even higher here with Bitcoin. I think the next step is going to be somewhere around the 140,000 range in September here. I doubt we're going to get that in August here. I'm just wishing for a positive August here. We'll see if we can get that. We have approximately 5 more days left of trading to go here. We'll see if that happens or not. On the monthly here, we can see the RSI is also, been kind of, it's been down, it's up, it's down a little bit here, but more or less it's been kind of flat here over the last, I would say, since March of, 2024. It's been getting above the 70 mark range and falling below it, but the price has continued to go up here. So that's still looking pretty good here. I think we're going to have a pretty good end of year here if all things play out well. We don't know if that's going to be the case here, but we can all obviously hope that that's going to be the case. So there's that on Bitcoin here. If we look at Ethereum also had a pretty good day today. It was up 5.13%. So it gained back a little bit more than half of the losses that it got yesterday. So that one closed at 4,601.64 cents. It's down a little bit here in the new day as well. On that one, markets were actually in the green today also. That was nice to see there. Miners, for the most part, were in the green here. Bitfarms was up nicely, 4.84%. It's now battling with the 200 SMA there on that one. BitDeer was down a little bit, 1.3%. Kango was also down a little bit as well, 2%. Cypher was up nicely today, 7.23%. It got to $7.12. It still has a ways to go before it can get to its high here. That was back on July of last year, which was $7.99 here. but we are seeing obviously some positive action here happening in Cypher. I'm loving the action that I'm seeing here. That's great. Cleanspark also was up just a little bit here, 2.43%. I mean, that one is still below all the SMA moving averages. I'd like to see that one come back up and do a little bit better, but we'll see. CORZ was also up a little bit today, 2.63%. It's now above the 50 SMA. Hive was up nicely today, 7.95. This thing has been having a really nice run up here since $2 at beginning of August here. $2.05. It got down to a low of approximately $1.97 here, and it's had a nice run up here recently. Looking at that one, so that one's up from the low here in August, up 46%. That's actually a pretty good month for it right now as it is. So that one's doing great. Hut 8 had a fantastic day today as well, 10.49%. We got obviously a new story on them, building out more megawatts here going forward. So that's helping the stock out here. It still has a little bit of ways to go from its high back in December of last year, where it reached 31.95, but it's getting closer to that. It's 25.91 right now as it is. So that one's doing pretty good here. IREN was down a little bit today, down 0.56%. Not that bad. We had a nice day yesterday where it was up 7.89%, so being down today a little bit isn't too bad, right? We got the quarterly results for them coming out on Thursday, which is also their end of year results for them. We'll cover it obviously when it happens. We'll talk about it. We'll see how that looks. But the only thing I can say on that one is we're going to be positive on EPS. I'm almost certain of that. We'll have to wait and to see what kind of other reports that we get from them as far as deals with customers, things like that. That might actually spike it up higher here. Hopefully we don't get one of those things where it runs up towards the report and then it actually goes down. I'm hoping that's not the case because I'm up nicely on this one. I'm up almost 180% right now. As it is 185, I think it is. It's almost 200%. So I'm loving that one. Mara was up a little bit, 2.86% as well. It's still above the 100 SMA there. Riot was up 3.09%. That one's having a nice little run up here as well. While Bitcoin has been coming down here, so that's a little That's a little different here from what we've seen in the past. And then Wolf was up 3.47%. That one's doing really good. Also, MicroStrategy was up 2.38%. Oh, also on Wolf, on September 9th, we're gonna have Patrick from Wolf. From TerraWolf on the Spaces with Ernest on Sunday. So we're going to obviously talk about their deal with Fluid Stack, things going forward with them. That's going to be exciting there. So if you guys are not following me on X, definitely follow me on X, and you guys will see that announcement there as well. And follow Ernest for sure as well. He's doing a great job as well. But going back here, Galaxy was up a little bit, 0.56%. Block was down a little bit, 0.38%. Coin was up a little bit, 0.81%. MetaPlanet was down up 2.85%. Exodus was up 2.74%. What is this one? This one is Nexon. Nexon was down a little bit, 0.57%. Semler was up 2.56%. Phoenix was down 2.83%. And GameStop was down 1.68%. Small miners were mixed, half and half. Half were down, half were up. We can see that DMGGF was up 2.53%. Mawson was up 0.3%. Canon was up 1.53%. Canon's been below $1 here for quite a while now. It did get up above $1. Back in the middle of July here, looks like, and then it's been coming back down. It's starting to come back up a little bit. We'll see where that one goes. The Bitcoin miner ETFs were up today as well. BitQ was up 1.81, BKCH was up 1.98, DAP was up 2.56, and WGMI was up 2.73. So that's looking good there. Excuse me. BNR was up just a little bit here, 0.71%. BitDigital was up 1.08, BTCS was up 1.85. GameStop was actually down. Not GameStop, sorry. GameSquare was down 7.89%, and SBET was down, up 3.91%. And then Bitcoin dominance here increased here. Well, it didn't really increase. It actually went down from yesterday. It went down, let's see here, almost 1% here, 0.98%. We're down a little bit more here right now on that one. So nothing major there. Let's take a look at the miners here, how they're doing it in after hours right now. I'm going to refresh this for you guys. Bitdeer is up a little bit, 0.23%. Bitfarms, let's see how that one's doing right now. One's up 1.54. Kango is up 1.83, so that's looking pretty good there. And Cypher is up another 1.12%. Love seeing that. Cleanspark here is up 0.52%. CORZ Scientific right now is up 0.29%. Hive Digital is actually down 1.4%, so a little profit taking happening there. Hut 8 is up another 1.12%. IREN right now is up 1.61%. So basically has gained back all of its loss that it had today of 0.56 right now. We'll see if that's where it starts out in the morning. And then Mara is actually up a little bit here as well, 0.06%, followed by Riot. Riot, let's see where that one's at right now. Riot's flat on the after hours trading. And finally, TerraWolf here is down 1.62% on that one as well. Okay, Bitcoin here for the month of August is down now 3.83%. So we are a little bit better than where we were yesterday. We were down 5% plus at that point. It is coming back up a little bit here. So maybe we can maybe just squeak out a positive month for August here by the end of the week here. We'll see. Bitcoin obviously has to go up, well, 3.83% and a little bit more to get a positive. We'll see. We'll see how that plays out. Bitcoin ETF inflows. So we finally had a break in the selling here on that one. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days of selling pressure from the Bitcoin ETFs here. We now actually have a positive day yesterday, 219% of inflows. And today we're looking at 42 million. Once we get IBIT to report BlackRock, we'll hopefully be back in the green here on that one. Okay. So that's it. That's all I got for that part of it. And the good news here that we do have here is on Hut 8. They announced plans to develop 4 new sites with more than 1.5 gigawatts of total capacity. There's not much details on the sites themselves other than locations a little bit. But with 90% of its 1,020 megawatt platform contracted as of June 30th, Hut 8 advances an addition of 1,530 megawatts for exclusivity into development. So that's great. That's obviously why the stock pumped today here. And I would like to have more details on it as far as what do they plan on doing with it. But it's still early stages of that, so that's okay. But today they announced plans to develop 4 new sites across the United States. The expansion positions the company to meet growing demand from energy-intensive U.S. use cases while scaling and diversifying its platform across strategic energy markets. Upon commercialization of the sites, Hut 8 expects its platform to exceed 2.5 gigawatts of capacity under management across 19 sites. In connection with the expansion, Hut 8 is reclassifying 1,530 megawatts of capacity related to these sites from capacity under exclusivity into a new category, capacity under development there. So they are doing these kind of classifications, which is kind of nice. So you can kind of see how they're progressing through their stack of potential megawatts, right? Or their pipeline of megawatts, as it might be. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my water. My throat's starting to dry out here. I've been coughing up some stuff here. It's just like a summer cold or something like that. I don't know what it is. I feel fine otherwise. It's just my throat is sometimes hurting me and I'm coughing up stuff. All right. The expansion sites range in scale from 50 megawatts to 1,000 megawatts of utility capacity, each selected for near-term power access and the potential to support commercialization across a range of advanced technologies. Right? They don't provide what they're going to be used for. So it's very early stages on this. Right. I mean, you obviously want to have customers for that as well, I think. You don't want to build out if you don't have any customers for that. But you also have the optionality to go maybe a Bitcoin mining, or you can do, obviously, HPCI as well, if they build it out properly, right? So going down here, we can see the sites here. We got one in Illinois, my home state here. Site 04, 50 megawatts there. Site 03, 180 megawatts. This is in Texas. Another site 2 is 1,000 megawatts or 1 gigawatt basically in Texas as well. And then site 1 is in Riverbend, which is 300 megawatts in Louisiana there. I mean, we're seeing a lot of sites pop up in Texas. I don't know if Texas is going to be maybe oversaturated with available megawatts. You have a lot of players there. You got Caruso obviously building out for Stargate along with Oracle there. For OpenAI. You got IREN, obviously you got Cypher there as well. I don't know. There's just a lot of megawatts that are going to be available there. And it all depends on the use cases of the HPCI that are needed for those things, right? We saw TerraWolf obviously get a deal, which a lot of people are thinking it's for, well, we know it's for FluidStack, and FluidStack might be partnered there with Waymo, which is close to New York, obviously. That would be a reason for that deal there potentially. But out in Texas, I mean, you do have some big towns in Texas, Dallas, and others as well. So maybe there's going to be the demand for it. I don't know. Time will tell, I guess, on that one. Okay, but that's kind of where they're situated right now. right? So you got state, Louisiana, Texas, Illinois here. The regional transmission operator, you got MISO, ERCOT, and PJM here for all those. That's the total megawatts there. Development pipeline update. So in conjunction with the launch of this expansion, HUD 8 has introduced a new category to its development framework, capacity under development. This designation applies to large state or late stage projects that have advanced beyond exclusivity. Exclusivity, where HUD 8 is actively investing in site development and commercialization by executing definitive land and power agreements, advancing site design and infrastructure build-out, and engaging with prospective customers. Projects in this category, including those announced today, will transition into capacity under management once commercialized. Okay, so here's their full funnel, basically, you could say. You start out at the very top, capacity under diligence, right? That applies to sites identified for large load use cases such as high-performance computing and Bitcoin mining, industrial applications such as next-generation manufacturing and other energy-intensive technologies. At this stage, HUD 8 assesses site potential by engaging with utilities, landowners, and other stakeholders to evaluate critical factors, including power availability, infrastructure readiness, fiber connectivity, and overall commercial viability, right? So that's kind of their pipeline there. From there, you get down to capacity under exclusivity, sites where HUD 8 has secured a clear path to ownership through either one, an exclusivity agreement that prevents the sale or of designated power and or land capacity to another party, or two, a tendered interconnection agreement confirming a viable path to securing power and infrastructure for deployment. So that's well defined there. That's great. Capacity under development, sites where HUD 8 is actively investing in development and commercialization by executing definitive land and or power agreements, advancing site design and infrastructure build-out, and engaging with prospective customers. And then you got finally at the bottom here, capacity under management, commercialized capacity, right? So this is actually a really good funnel for them, and it's very well laid out, actually, right? So as an investor, you can follow it quite clearly as far as where they are in this stage of everything. And sorry, I got to get a sip of my water. But you can see here capacity as of August 25th is 6.8 gigawatts here. That's capacity under diligence, basically their pipeline. Capacity under exclusivity, 1.2 gigawatts, right? And capacity under development is a 1.5. And then capacity under management, so we're at 1 gigawatt there. So for total potential for them is 10 gigawatts. That's a lot. So nice job by HUD 8 and their team there, getting all these sites in the pipeline, and some already passed the pipeline into actual development there. So that's why the stock was definitely doing well today here. And investment and partnerships here. So the expansion is expected to be financed through a disciplined capital strategy with optionality across multiple funding sources. As of August 25th, 2025, HUD 8 has assets and available financing arrangements supporting up to $2.4 billion in liquidity, including cash, Bitcoin credit, and the company's at-the-market equity program. Core elements include, excuse me, strategic reserve assets. Right, my gosh, my throat is really tickling me. Hold on, let me mute myself here really quick, and I got a cough. Okay, hopefully that fixes that. But they have the strategic reserve assets, right? 10,278 Bitcoin there, valued at 1.2 billion. They have the non-dilutive growth capital and new revolving credit facility of up to 200 million with two primed and an upsized repriced 130 million credit facility with Coinbase, together providing 330 million of liquidity at a weighted average cost of a capital of 8.4%. And then equity flexibility. They have a new 1 billion ATM equity program as of August 22nd, 2025. In connection with the launch of this program, HUD 8 terminated its prior ATM program with 40% of capacity unutilized, underscoring the company's disciplined approach to equity issuance. Shares under the prior program were issued at an average price of $27.83 per share, with just 21.1 million or 4% of the total program capacity issued between February 1st, 2025 and retirement. Okay, so they're going to be pulling on the trigger on the dilution there a little bit, well, maybe a lot, depending. We'll see. And then they also have project level financing, indicative interest from banking partners to provide project level financing for data center developments structured around specific customer profiles and counterparties, right? So if they get a great counterparty, you're going to have probably better rates. If you don't have a great counterparty, it might be a little bit higher rates, right? That's just the way it works. Nonetheless, this is great news for Hut 8, and obviously the shareholders of Hut 8, they are progressing forward here. And now they just need to announce a customer, just like everybody else does. IREN, Cypher, and Bitfarms, BitDeer, and pretty much anybody and their uncle that's involved in this new space here of HPC AI. We're all waiting with waited breath here on more announcements from these guys, and we'll see who actually gets an announcement first. But yeah, this is great. They're executing on what they said they were going to execute on, and they're doing it very well here. So congrats to the team there. Nicely done. And we'll see how that builds out, progress going forward here. All right, but that's it. That's all I got for you guys right now. We'll get into Q&A here. We do have a poll running right now where is Bitcoin basically bottomed out here. 51% of you guys say no. And so, yeah, are we done going lower in Bitcoin? 51% say no. 49% say yes. So we're kind of half and half as far as where you guys think Bitcoin is at right now overall. All right, so let's get into Q&A as always. If you could preface your questions with a question mark or Q, I would appreciate it. And also be kind and obviously polite in the comments in regards to just everybody in there, right? As always, I'm going to scroll my way up and work my way down. I don't see too many comments here, so that's good. We'll get through this relatively quickly here. Let me see. Daryl's got a question here. Since IREN is now fairly valued and Cleanspark is so beaten down, what are your thoughts on selling shares of IREN to buy Cleanspark? I would say if you're highly up on IREN, I would say maybe sell a little bit. I wouldn't say sell everything. I would say maybe sell, excuse me, 5 to 10, maybe at most 15% of your IREN holdings there. Because if IREN, man, excuse me, hold on. Whatever this summer bug is, I don't like it. But yeah, I wouldn't sell more than 15% because I think there's still a lot more upside for IREN potentially, especially if they get an HPCI deal with somebody. I mean, we see that they are growing on their own already as it is, with getting more more GPUs here just yesterday, right? The B200s. I think, I wouldn't sell too much of my IREN shares to go into Cleanspark here. George got a question as well. Is Cleanspark too late to AI pivot game? What are their options? Thanks. They might be a little too late. We'll see, right? They do have a lot of sites, 33 sites, I think, across 4 or 5 states. Could one of those sites be a good candidate for somebody? Maybe. We don't know, right? It all depends on connectivity for fiber, right? Do they have access to water? What else? Land. Do they have enough land to build out if they need to at those sites? We don't know. And hopefully the Cleanspark is doing that due diligence right now, or at least started a while back here, at least doing that. And they're going to probably get somebody involved in that as well, I think. They're going to need to get some help on it, I think. Taylor Monick there is great and everything. I think he can probably figure this out as well, but you probably want to get somebody that has at least a number of years of experience building out data centers that are for HPC AI to help out potentially somebody that has connections as well. I think you need to do that. We're seeing companies that do have connections end up doing a little bit better there maybe, right? If you recall, CORZ Scientific had a connection to CoreWeave originally, right, where CoreWeave was basically hosting their GPUs with CORZ Scientific at that point. So they had a connection there that helped CORZ Scientific out. We saw also, TeraWulf have a. I think now Stanley Druckenmiller invested in TeraWulf. I think that connection there maybe helped them get into with Google and FluidStack as well, and Core 42 along that line. So I think you need people with connections that can help you out, and they're gonna have to get that. I think we'll see if they do. I don't know if it's too late, but they are definitely late to the game here, right? I mean, it's been over a year now since we started talking about HPCI back in probably May of last year, I think, maybe April at the earliest. We're talking about this, and we've only seen basically TeraWulf get a nice deal here, CORZ Scientific get a deal with CoreWeave as well. Who else? That's basically it. I mean, Applied Digital with CoreWeave along with Galaxy with CoreWeave. So that's the only deals that we've seen here so far. So maybe they're not too late. We'll see. Let's see. Angie says, I voted yes. September is usually a bad month, but followed by October. Yeah, I mean, you guys might be right. We'll have to wait and see. If we get rate cuts in September, that might be actually a positive for us in September. We'll see. Carl answered no on question about BTC going lower because I hope, but Asia usually sells off in September. Okay. Yeah, so we might, yeah, maybe we'll start off September in the red here and we'll maybe end it up in the green here. We'll see. All right. Let's see. Midwest, Thailand question. I remember you didn't like it that Riot was stopping their hash rate growth and going into HPCI. Do you still think Mara and Cleanspark should stick to mining and not go towards HPCI? Part of me does, part of me doesn't. We're obviously seeing the narrative change around the miners that are going into HPCI, right? They're getting a premium, which the miners that are not going into it, Mara and Cleanspark, in that boat there, they're not getting that premium. They're being left behind a little bit here. So I think if they are true about their ambitions about going into HPCI, that's fine. There are some cases where people have stated that at a certain point, Bitcoin mining might be more profitable than HPCI, and maybe particularly in this year as well, depending where Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin goes to 200,000 this year, I think, yeah, those that are in HPC, building out Bitcoin mining will probably do very well. Will they do better than HPCI? Excuse me, I don't know. At that point. But I'd love to see that be the case. Because at a certain point with Bitcoin being up much higher, I think the profits there are much greater in Bitcoin mining than they would be in HPCI. But you have that, with Bitcoin you have this, that seasonality, whatever you want to call it, where Bitcoin goes up nicely, right? It's unpredictable basically is what I'm trying to say. Whereas HPCI deals, they're predictable. You know what you're going to be getting month after month after month once you develop the sites here. So the market likes predictability. They don't like unpredictability with Bitcoin, and that's kind of what we have with Cleanspark and Mara. There's definitely quite a bit of unpredictability as far as where Bitcoin price is going to go and everything else like that. So, yeah, we'll see on it, but maybe it's not too late for them to get into it. Guys, got a question here. Can Cleanspark touch 16 if BTC tops at 135 this year? 16? I think with them, obviously, talking about getting into HPCI, I think that might help. We need more information on it. That will help out. And Bitcoin getting 135,000, would they get to $16? Maybe. But that's a very small maybe there alone. Cass says, can't trust Hut. Asher ain't getting my money. Okay. Sorry, Melon seconds that, I guess. Yep, Asher is sketchy. Okay. Let's see. Tom Harrison. Cause I trust Asher way more than the former Jamie. She went too concerned with ESG, elites, slimy grift. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously you guys have your opinions there on that. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Seb. Thrilled with Hut 8. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, neither was I. So that's great news for them. All right. Let's see. Joe's got a question here. If you had to free up some capital today and sell some shares, who would it be between Cleanspark, Riot, Mara, and IREN and Hive? If I had to sell some shares. Well, okay, so IREN I'm up nicely, almost 185% as it is. I have been thinking about taking a little bit off the top, 5-10%, something like that, and maybe rotating into like Cypher and maybe Cleanspark or maybe even Bitfarms at this point. As far as Riot, I mean, Mara, I own Mara too. I was actually thinking about selling that as well. That has not done great for me. I'm up 9% on that one since I bought it a couple months back. I may sell that as well, buy into Bitfarms or something like that because it's not much. It's like $1,800 in that. So, yeah, I don't know. Hive has also gone up nicely here. I mean, it depends on where you're located or what your allocation is into these things and what has done nicely for you. Maybe, yeah, at that point, I mean, that's up to you on that one. Craig says, I saw Rex Finance today on the side of Milk Carton. So you're saying that he's missing in action or missing? I haven't seen anything from him. I think I saw a tweet from him today or X post, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Let's see. Mortem says, Cleanspark is like a ship at sea without a rudder. It's way too late for them to pivot, and who would even want them considering there are better options among miners? Yes, I would say I kind of agree with you there, right? It might be too late. We'll wait. I mean, we're only a year into this HPCI craze with the miners here, so I don't know if it's too late yet. But they do need to provide some obviously significant information as far as where they're heading, what sites would be potential for that as well. But there are better options. I think you're right. IREN is definitely a better option in that regard. IREN's got 2 gigawatts available for 2026 and 2027. Cleanspark would have to really kick butt here and get some sites that they could develop relatively quickly here. Get megawatts basically is what they would need to do. Okay. Carl says, I continue to put a sizable portion of my my risk money into Bitfarms. Do you have any further thoughts on Bitfarms? They have a great location in Pennsylvania. And they also hired on somebody that has connections with Amazon, AWS. The connections might help out there. They have been doing obviously a lot better here. Riot is almost done selling their shares of Bitfarms as well. That'll be good once they get them off their back. So I think there's just a lot of good things happening here for them here, but we'll see, right? They're in the same boat as pretty much everybody else here that's trying to get an HPCI deal. There's a lot of companies that are trying to do that. We'll see who actually lands it first here. All right. Let's see. Morton says, unless rates get cut repeatedly, there is zero reason to think Bitcoin goes to 200,000 before the cycle ends, but not this year. Okay. Well, if we get a rate cut in September, another one in possibly, October, and then December, I think. If we get 3 rate cuts, that'd be kind of good. Nice in a row rate cuts. I think Trump wants rate cuts to go down like 3% or something like that. That would be nice. But oh my gosh, I think the inflation would be going through the roof. Well, not through the roof, but it would be definitely higher if you do those many. I don't know. I'm not an economist. Maybe it wouldn't. Benny says it's never too late to get into HPC. I tend to agree with that also. Right, even if you're late entrance into this, I think you'll do fine. I'm always reminded by the story of Apple. Right, Apple has been late to the MP3 space. Right, when they came out with the iPod. There was like 3 years into the space or something like that, and they blew the competition out. So there's always possibility for somebody to disrupt one way or another potentially. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Kyle says it's true, plenty of demand for HPC AI. Sir Lellington, I hope you feel better soon, Seb. Thanks. I feel fine. It's just this cough, lung cookies basically, is coming out. I'm coughing this stuff up, but I don't have a fever. I don't have a runny nose or anything like that. It's just some kind of respiratory bug, whatever it might be. So, but I appreciate that. Thank you. And then Sadie sometimes says, likes for Seb. I appreciate that as well. Let me see. I think we're pretty much caught up with you guys' questions here. So I'm still long-term bullish, obviously, on Cleanspark, on Cypher now as well, IREN for sure. Mara, I'm questioning Mara whether or not I should sell Mara because it hasn't done anything really for me. It's gone up 8-9% since I've owned it. I'm up next year on Cleanspark still at least. I'm up at least 80% on that one. So that kind of makes sense to hold on to it. I think it can go up higher here as Bitcoin goes up in value as well. IREN is tremendous performer here for me, 180% now. Cypher's up 40%, I think, as well. Recently, I just bought that one a couple of weeks ago. So I'm looking to maybe sell out Mara here and put into something else. Bitfarms, I'm down a little bit on that one, still like 15% from my average cost price. But as you guys know, I sold a bunch back in November, December of last year where I was in profit actually on that one. So I may just hold on to that, maybe add in a little bit more to see where that one goes, just for the HPCI potential there. The only other one that I'm looking to maybe get into, which I don't have right now, it would be probably Bitdeer, I think. Bitdeer has a lot of growth in hash rate this year, right? 40-some exahash. And they also have more growth into next year. And they're also trying to get into HPCI. So that's kind of where I'm looking at right now as it is. We'll obviously see where Bitcoin goes later on this month, next month as well. Could we get to 180,000, 200,000 by the end of the year? I would love to see it. I think 150,000 is doable. Closer to 200,000 might be pushing it a little bit here because Bitcoin has not done great so far this year. It's up only couple percentage points as it is. I think it's up 12% or something like that. So we'll have to wait and see. Midwest Thailand's got a question here. Is there a reason why you're staying away from Riot? Riot, I don't like the high compensation that they have been getting. I like the fact that they're still at least growing to 45 exahash by the end of the first quarter of 2026. So they're going to be growing their hash rate there a little bit. I don't know. I mean, they do have the two sites. They got Rockdale and Corsicana as well that they could possibly use for HPCI, but we haven't seen anything else. They haven't done well in the Bitcoin mining side of things here for me to get excited about them in HPCI. That's the only thing I have against them right now is their operations in Bitcoin have not been great over the last, I would say, 2 to maybe 3 years as it is. So if that is indicative of their HPCI prowess, right, then that would be good. But maybe they surprise us and maybe they do very well in HPCI. But that's kind of what I'm seeing there. Star Melon, I don't think he's that. I'm not going to even say the word there. But we're seeing a lot of these CEOs and executive suites getting too much when it comes to stock-based compensation, just in general compensation as well. They need to definitely tone that down a lot there. Mortim is also saying here, let me see if this pops up even. Yeah, it pops up. Trump organization buying 2.5 billion Bitcoin argues for extended cycle. You think, even without that, I was thinking that we're going to get an extended cycle here. I mean, just look at the price action of Bitcoin this year. It's muted. It's nowhere near where we thought we were going to be in normally a bull run cycle. And we're also seeing extended drawdowns in Bitcoin, 4 or 5 months where we go down 30%, where last cycles we didn't see that. We had Bitcoin on a rampage and would go up, 40, 50%, maybe even more than that, correct, in a matter of days, going down 30, 35%, and then we would go back up 50, 70, 80%, in the next couple of weeks. So it is definitely a way different cycle here. We'll see if it's going to be an extended cycle. I think it is, just based on what I'm seeing here right now, but time will only tell, right? We can speculate all we want, but eventually time will tell us the truth. So we'll see where we get to. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much for coming in as always. I appreciate you guys for taking the time here. Love you all. I hope you guys have a great Wednesday, hump day, middle of the week. We're almost done. And I can't believe that August is almost done as well. I noticed yesterday that at 7:35, 7:40, it was starting to get dark out. It's like, oh my gosh, that is so depressing because we got fall coming in again, winter, and we're going to be locked inside again. So I'm not a big fan of that, but we'll get through it. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sadie, thank you so much for the likes and everything else. Let's see. Your guy says, please let us know when you exit. Okay. Let's see. When you exit Cleanspark in this cycle, thanks for all your hard work. I will definitely let you guys know anytime I buy anything or anytime I exit out. Roger says, 1 year ago, Bitcoin was $18 or no. Yeah, $18. Yeah, it was. That's because they stayed true to their Bitcoin mining roots and others have gotten to HPCI. I think that's the main reason why they're. All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.